Good morning. I've turned on my OBS recording studio just for a minute in the middle of this against the storm settlement because I want to record this moment for posterity. I just opened a forbidden glade down here. Here's my second settlement. Up here is my first settlement. And this forbidden glade contains the stormbird nest, which I have only seen, this is the third time I have seen it, in 1,800 hours that I have played this game. 1,894 hours to be exact. I just checked Steam. This is only the third time I've seen the giant stormbird nest Forbidden Glade event. This event requires you to solve it either by feeding the giant stormbird, which is a loyalty or an empathy decision, which I can't solve because I don't have the right kind of food, and that's fine. Or you give her two types of food inputs and you can feed her and you get all this loot. Or you can tame the giant stormbird, which is a corrupt decision. And if you do that, it will instantly start the storm early. This is year 7 and I have very little blight rot in my settlement, so I could potentially do that. It'll start the storm immediately. The storm will continue until the event is over. Even if I cancel working on the event, the storm will continue. And my villagers will also get a negative 4% penalty to resolve for every hostility level. So I have 4 hostility levels. Everybody's getting negative 16 to their resolve on top of all of these negatives that will go into effect as soon as the storm starts. The looming darkness, under an open sky, aura of fear, insatiable hunger, and strange lights. So this is an extremely difficult event, but it's very rewarding because if you tame the stormbird, you get the tamed stormbird decoration for this settlement, which gives 5 eggs per minute, increases harpy resolve by 3, and counts as 16 harmony decorations. So this is the third time I've seen this. The first time I saw this, I was playing on a lower difficulty. I'm playing on P20 difficulty, Prestige 20. I was playing on a lower difficulty level, and I tamed the stormbird nest, and I put it in the middle of my settlement and surrounded it with harpy houses, and everyone was happy. And then the last time I saw it, the second time I saw it, it ended my game because it's a very hard event to solve. So hopefully that won't happen this time. But the reason I'm recording this is not because I'm seeing the giant stormbird nest for the third time, but because the same forbidden glade that has the giant stormbird nest also has the homestead in it, which I've only seen 4 or 5 times in my 1,894 hours of playing this game. The homestead is a ruin that when you fix it, turns into a farm. So it can use nearby farm fields like these. If you find grass, you can change them into farm fields like that. It can use nearby farm fields to farm grain, plant fiber, vegetables, and mushrooms. Grain and plant fiber at 3 stars, vegetables and mushrooms at 2 stars. And right now it has room for 3 workers to work on it, solving it, rebuilding it essentially with these materials here. It takes 10 planks, 10 bricks, and 5 cloth to rebuild it. But after you rebuild it, it has room for 4 villagers to work in it. And humans, I believe, get a bonus in it. So this is absolutely a crazy machine for a crazy building for cranking out grain and plant fiber, but also vegetables and mushrooms. No other farm can make 4 different things. No other farm has room for 3 villagers working in it. So this is absolutely insane. And you can't see it because I haven't resolved it, but its area that it can reach is much larger than the small farm, the plantation, or the herb garden. So it can reach more farm fields. If you put it, I'm looking for any place where it would, potentially be good. If you put it near multiple plots of farm, it's not that big. Multiple plots of farm fields, it can reach more farm fields than the others. So I'm going to attempt to tame the stormbird because I don't really have another option. I need this grain to live because I'm feeding my villagers on biscuits. So you can see I have a good supply of biscuits here and jerky, which means that when the storm starts, I have a good amount of food to try to get us through insatiable hunger, which gives villagers a higher chance of consuming twice the food during their break. I'm also going to fire all my woodcutters, which reduces my hostility to 3. And I have some other bonuses that are going to help me get through this. First of all, I have Prayer Book, which makes scouts work 10% faster on glade events for every firekeeper assigned to a hearth. So I'm getting 20% from that. I have another speed bonus somewhere. Here it is, Firekeeper's Prayer. Glade work is increased by 30%. So overall, I have 50% faster glade work, and so I can solve the giant stormbird in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, when she would normally take at least 5 minutes to solve without foxes. So that's good. And then I also have a couple of storm forged cornerstones here that are going to help me get through the storm. So the other negative is that I'm kind of far from a warehouse. The stormbird is here. My scouts will probably dispatch from here, depending on where they're coming from. They don't have to carry anything with them. But let's just set some humans to work on this, or I could actually have beavers do it because they got fired from their woodcutting jobs. And let's go ahead and start and see if we can survive the storm. So I've reduced my hostility by firing the woodcutters to 3. So they're going to pick up -12. So the harpies are going to be in the red. Harpies are going to be really unhappy. Beavers and humans might be fine. All right, here we... and let me just see what my coat situation is, because coats are also keeping people happy. We are out of coats. I'm going to connect a geyser to that. There is a clearance geyser on the map. I don't have enough supplies to build it. So will that get built before this is done? TBD. All right, here we go. So that starts the storm immediately. Make sure I have blight fighters ready to go. I do. And the harpies are down to 4, and it's about to get worse once these kick in. Here we go. Nope. Okay. 2 people left. I'm not sure why. All right. Harpies resolve is low, but only by -3, which means I can favor my harpies and give them +5, while beavers and humans lose -5. And I think that's going to get us through this 1 minute to go that we have to work. I'm running at 3 times speed. So that's why it's going so fast. So I think it's going to get us through the storm, and we're going to get this. And I'm also going to send some people down here to work on the homestead, so I can show off the homestead as well. Oh my gosh, look how fast that goes. Once they get there, they're instantly done. Could have had them working on this the whole time. Okay. So this isn't that impressive because the stormbird doesn't stay... Okay, there we go. The stormbird has been tamed. So I'm going to take her up here, and she can just become a decoration for this. There's nowhere to put her. She's too large. All right, I'm going to have to creatively reshuffle some of my stuff around to make room for the giant stormbird. I mean, they did warn me. It is a giant stormbird, you know, not a normal stormbird or a medium stormbird. It's a giant stormbird. All right, there we go. We can put her right there. And I'm trying to leave this clear here because I want to put the homestead there once I have... got it. Here it almost done. They're working on it. That wasn't 0 seconds. That might be bugged. Okay, and I'm going to put my... So the homestead, like the other farms, can be moved for a cost of 5 planks, which I have. So I'm moving the homestead up here so it's closer to my warehouse. There we go. And you can see it's got this very large... When I said it wasn't large enough to reach both of these, I lied. It could reach both of those, as you can see. But my farmers wouldn't get very much done if they were running that far. So as you can see, humans have a bonus in here. I'm going to turn off mushrooms and vegetables so I don't need them. And I actually don't need plant fiber either. I just really need grain. And I need grain to power the ranch here so that I can get meat and eggs, which eggs are no longer going to be a problem because I tamed the giant stormbird. And then I also need grain to make flour here in the supplier, which my harpies are working in the supplier here. So that we can make biscuits, which is what my people are eating. So we stayed good on food. We're down to hostility level 2, thanks to the altar of decay here, the converted altar of decay that I converted earlier in the game. So you can see the storm continues on. It doesn't stop until it naturally would, even though I've solved the event. The storm is going to continue, but we're now out of danger. We're no longer getting the negative effects of the stormbird nest, and in fact, my harpies are getting a boost from having the stormbird nest. So this is incredible. A game that has both the stormbird nest and the homestead. I'm loving this. I've never seen this before. So this it is 8 in the morning now. I probably started the settlement at like 7:30 a.m. and it has made my day.